Hi, boys and girls. Yesterday, we learned some vocabulary for our geometry or shapes unit. So let's review those. Remember, we learned some motions, some hand motions to go with them. So I'm going to call one out and let's see if you can remember what it is. What is the motion for a line? Line. Pointing out to the sides, both sides. Be out with pointed fingers because a line keeps going and going. All right, next one, an open shape. You should be doing like a circle that's not closed. Remember, there has to be an opening so something can go inside. Okay, next one, point. That doesn't mean point like this, point. So like a circle, a point would be a circle like on a line. Next one, let's do a line segment. So instead of points that keep going and going, arrows that keep going and going, you're going to have end points at the end. So point at each side so that that line is just a little section that stops. Okay, next one, closed shape. Yep, it is a shape that does not have any opening, no door, not a little bug or a mouse can get in there. It touches. Okay, let's do ray. Remember what a ray is? Not an array, just the word ray. Good. So one side has an end point, one side has a point, and the other side is a line that has an arrow that keeps going and going. Yesterday we recorded those words in our notebook. Notice this is mine from before we did it because I did this video a little early. You need to get out your math notebooks and go to the beginning section where we have math vocabulary. If you weren't here to do these words, then just go to where you had the last section of vocabulary words and find your next blank spot to record today's, and then you can add in the ones you missed a different day. So go ahead and pause this video, please, and get that out. This new vocabulary word is the word angle. It kind of looks like it's spelled like angel, but it's not. Angle. Angel would be A-N-G-E-L. So an angle is where two rays share an end point. So think about one ray is a point and a line. So if we combine two of those, let me draw a point and a line. I gotta make it a line with an arrow. So if there's a point and a line, it's going to be where two of those share the same point. See? So an angle is two rays that share a point, an end point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this up and I want you to pause the video so that everybody can record the definition for angle. And then when everybody or almost everybody is done, we'll move on to the next vocabulary word. I'm going to do a motion for the word angle because there are three different types of angles. And so we're going to do motions for the three different types of angles. So we're going to learn those in just a minute. But first, the next vocabulary word is the word vertex. Different word that you probably haven't heard before. A vertex is a shared end point. It's just the corner. So if you look at this angle, the corner would be where that end point is. So let me draw that. Here is the vertex, the corner. I drew a little circle and an arrow to it. So when you record it, I want you to do that too. But before we record this, let's learn the motion. So if we need the corner, the vertex, we're going to make an angle with our arm, not like you're showing your muscles, just a little angle, and point to that corner, your elbow. So when I say vertex, you're going to point to your elbow. Okay, everybody show me point. I tricked you. You thought I was going to ask for a vertex. Point. All right. Now show me vertex. The corner of an angle or of a shape, because shapes can have several different corners, can't they? All right. I'm going to hold this up, pause the video so you can record this in your math vocabulary notebook. All right. Next vocabulary word. I did forget to say that you should only be using pencil to record these things in your notebook. So if you're using something different, please put it away and get out a pencil. All right, the next vocabulary word is right angle. So we already know that an angle is where the two endpoints meet. But this is not a right angle. A right angle forms a square in the corner. It's called 90 degrees. Let me show you what that looks like. Drew the letter what? L, because if you look at an L, it looks like I could put a little square in the corner. Let me show you what I mean. You're probably really confused. All right, look what I just did. I added a little square to the little vertex of that angle, and you can see that it is a perfect square. So that is a right angle. If I tried to do that to one that's not a right angle, it wouldn't look like a square. Let me show you what I mean. Angle is not a right angle. It's smaller than a right angle. So if I tried to add that little square box to it, does that look like a perfect little square? No, it looks like a diamond. So that's not a right angle. This one is also not a right angle. It doesn't look like an L. And if I tried to add a little square to it, again, would that look like a right angle? No, it looks like a diamond. So if you can put that little square into it and it looks like an L, then it would be a right angle. Now, the only confusing thing is it's not going to be just an L. It can actually be like a rectangle or a square itself. If you look at this shape, that doesn't look like an L anymore. But look, there are pieces of it that could look like an L. If I take off the rest of it, it's not very helpful. It could look like an L. So I have a perfect square in each of these corners. So this one actually has 4 right angles because they're all perfect little squares. All right. So I'm going to hold up the book again and you pause it and record right angle in your notebook, and then we will learn the motion. Okay, the motion for right angle is going to be you're making an L with your arms. So arms to be out wide or too little, I want it to look like an L. It's actually a cheerleading move called an L. One arm goes right up by your ear and the other one goes out to the side, so it makes an L, and my head would be like where that perfect little box would go. So go ahead, ready? Show me a right angle. All right, show me a line. Show me ray. Show me point. Show me a vertex. Good. All right, let's learn another one. Vocabulary word is called an acute angle. Do you see a word in there you know? Cute. Oh, it's so cute. So what an acute angle is an angle that's less than a right angle. So if a right angle is an L, an acute angle is anything that would be less than that L. See how there's different angles I'm doing all the way till it's like really itty bitty? Oh, that's cute because it's little. So an acute angle is going to be like what we drew when we did endpoints, corners. It's not going to be an L. It's going to be like a little greater than less than sign pretty much, and that would be an acute angle. All right, so go ahead and pause this and draw that in your notebook, and then we'll do the motion for that one. Ready for the motion. If a right angle is going to be like a perfect L, an acute angle is just going to be anything that is less than that. And if you don't want to do your arms real big, you can even do it with your hand. So this is an acute angle, or you could say that this is an acute angle. Okay, so do a right angle and do an acute angle. All right, get those vocabulary notebooks ready because we're doing another word. This is the third angle. We've done right angle, acute angle, and now we're going to do obtuse. Obtuse angle is something that is greater than a right angle. So acute is little, it's less than a right angle. A right angle is like an L. And then obtuse would be greater than an L. So it just means that that line goes out bigger. Can't really make your fingers do that very well. So let me draw what that might look like. It's going to be really out and open, bigger than an L. Okay? So let's record that one first and then we'll learn the motion. So pause the video and record. All right, you might go hear in the background, you guys are doing gym today in the room and you're doing Would You Rather. Hear it? Rest. All right, so for obtuse angle, to do that with your arms, we're going to make it big. So if you think of opera singing, oh, it's really big. It's big music, a big loud voice. So we're going to make our arms go obtuse, bigger than a right angle. So if this is a right angle, perfect L, I can make my arm just go bigger. Look, that's just a little bigger, but it's bigger. It's greater than a right angle. So it's obtuse. So it's this. So it's this. So with a straight line, that's obtuse. Guess what? I can keep going because this is bigger than a right angle. Going all the way from here, all the way around is bigger than an L. So ready? Let me see an acute angle. Acute. Now let me see a right angle. Perfect L. And now let me see obtuse. Obtuse, like opera. All right, very good. In a minute, you're going to do some pages in your math workbook. Don't get it out yet. I didn't ask you to. You're listening right now. And I'm going to have you use a Post-it note to help you find out if something is a right angle. The reason we're using a Post-it note is because what do you notice about the angle of a Post-it note? What type of angle is it? A right angle. It's a perfect L. I could draw a square right there, and it would be a perfect square. It would be 90 degrees. And that's okay that we don't know what 90 degrees, what the different degree measurements are. That's not really a third grade skill. So what we're going to do to figure out if an angle is a right angle or not is we're going to line up the corner of the Post-it. And if it fits in there perfectly and you can still see both lines, it's a right angle. If one of the lines is peeking out from behind the Post-it or underneath it and you can't see it, then it is either obtuse or acute. So let's do an example with the square on the wall behind me. See the corner here, the vertex? I'm going to line up my Post-it in that vertex to see if it's a right angle. Watch this. What did you notice? Can you see both lines still? Top line? Yes. Bottom line or side line? Yes. This is a perfect right angle. It's like a perfect L, and I can put a square in the corner and you can still see both lines. Now let's try one that's not a right angle. Try the one that we already know is not, this obtuse angle. I'm going to try to line up this Post-it, and we're going to see if it lines up perfectly. So I'm putting it against this bottom line, and I'm going to keep moving until the corners line up. The vertexes are together. Now look, you can still see both lines, but one is not on the edge of the Post-it. See how this one it lines up and the other one does not line up? It's going bigger. That means it's not a right angle. So this would be an obtuse angle, but today's lesson is mainly deciding if something is a right angle or not. So let me try with this one. So with the acute angle, I'm going to get that same Post-it note and I'm going to line up the corners. Oh, what do you know? Look, it's a right angle because they're lined up, right? Oh, one is lined up. You can see that bottom one, but you can't see the other one. It's underneath the Post-it, see? That means it is not a right angle. If it is a right angle, you should still be able to see both of them. So let me try it with the right angle that I drew and see if it works. Ready? That work? Can you still see both lines and it's perfectly lined up in the corner, vertex to vertex? So that is a right angle. So the rest of today's lesson is going to be practicing finding right angles. So you're going to be getting out your math book and it asks you to write if it is a right angle, less than a right angle, or greater. And you can figure that out by using your Post-it note, lining it up in the corner, and seeing if it works, okay? All right, happy math.